What out of the 3 games, what game do you think has gotten the best out of the Unreal 4 engine in the development of the trilogy?
Well, I've spent a lot of time with San Andreas and a decent amount of time with Vice City, and have not touched 3 at all yet.
Yeah.
I've always felt like 3 it was like good for the time, but doesn't really compare to Vice City or San Andreas, you know. So like I haven't really been in a rush to play it. But honestly, I think I guess I'd have to say Vice City, because San Andreas doesn't have. I mean, because that doesn't have the baggage that San Andreas has of having to be compared to GTA 5. You know, it's like I like the art style. I genuinely do. I think it's like a cool update to the PS2 graphics. I think it fits really well on the Switch. I think it's like a good level of cartoony and stuff. But inevitably, you're going to compare it to GTA 5 when it has all the same locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like, yeah.
But when I played it recently, I was like, ooh, this still feels old as hell. It does. And you know what? I can play through it because it's the nostalgia that's bringing me in. It's the nostalgia.
Well, and you remember playing a PS2, so the wonky PS2 controls aren't unbearable. Like if we were like 20 and we didn't grow up with PS2, then maybe that'd be different. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
There was somebody on Twitter that was like, oh yeah, you know, GTA 3 is just not vast, and you know, it just doesn't have this, and doesn't feel lived in. I'm like, the game's 20 years old. Even with a remaster, it's gonna have to be remade for it to fit that. But you are absolutely right. Or in my own opinion, I'm not gonna say. I think you're right, because
no, it's fine. I'm right. You can just say it.
Yeah, you're just right. Yeah, you're just right. I think Vice City has been touched beautifully by the Unreal 4 engine. It is gorgeous.
I've always loved Vice City. I think it's a hilarious game.
It's funny. It is funny.
So I love just driving around listening to the talk radio stations and just cracking up. I just think it's so good. The voice acting is great. I hope the rumors about GTA 6 being in Vice City again are true. You know.
Yeah, me too.
I never believe rumors. I just hope that they're like coincidentally true at least. And but like, because it's just such a fun location. You know what I mean? And like, you can do so much with the like Florida jokes and the like. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's funny that they made that game a year after GTA 3. It's amazing because that game is just different in so many ways, and it's my favorite GTA Vice City. It is still so damn good, and it looks so good in this trilogy. It's the one with the least problems. I do wish that they did update more characters in cutscenes faces, because it's just weird that like Tommy Vercetti looks like a decently good character and then everybody else is like half-assed. That's probably my biggest gripe about the game. But the game is, I want Billie Jean in there when it comes to like
I noticed that.
All that.
So the only moment that I remember being like, was when you first start the game. The very first thing you do in the game is you jump into the car and then Billie Jean starts playing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the nostalgia for me.
That's the
it's
nostalgia
like,
that's supposed to hit. Yeah.
You could like, you know, he's pulling into the lawyer's office and he's like, oh goddamn fucking whatever, and then you get out and you get into the car and then just dun, dun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so nostalgic for me. And then I get in and some random song starts playing and I'm like,
it don't feel the same. You know what's funny is I got what happened to me, it was almost equally as good. I wish it was Billie Jean, but it was almost equally as good. It was And the Beat Goes On by the Whispers that started playing. And I said, oh, this is probably just as good.
That game does remind me that the 80s did actually have some pretty good music.
It was amazing.
There's a lot of bad pop music in the 80s, but there's lots of great like rock and disco and shit from the 80s that it's just like.
And you're about 4 years older than me. So like when I played it, I was about 9, and I just wasn't I wasn't feeling the soundtrack like that. And except Billie Jean, that was it. But now when I'm older, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, I love every song on here. I can flick through all the stations and every song I love. It's great.
Yeah,
It's great.
it's good. Yeah, there's the what is it called, like wavy something or something like that, and it's mostly like electro pop and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. It's like modern electro pop is going back to that sound,
Yeah.
And so it's just nice. It sounds a lot like the kind of music I listen to nowadays anyway. You know what I mean?
It's great.